everyone! So as a sequel to my Who Am I video, I wanted to record another one that asks a very important question. Where do you see yourself in 15 years from now? If you ever applied to an Ivy League business school, this is one of the questions they would ask you in one shape or form. And it's a very difficult question, especially when you're 25, more or less, when you're applying to school. How the hell are you going to know what are you going to do in 15 years? And funny enough, a friend of mine recently got asked the same question when she was applying for a relationship management job at a bank. And she said, why the hell was this guy asking me this question? It has nothing to do with the job description. So there are two common reasons why they're asking you this question. The main reason is that they want you to try to imagine how life would be like. They want you to try to imagine a little bigger picture than your current reality. And they want to see if you have that ability and that ambition to see your future beyond what you're currently doing. The other very simple reason they ask you, they want to see if you're able to write an essay or respond to a question in a coherent way, hypothesizing about something that you may not have complete certainty about. So this is very common to ask open-ended questions and see how you will lead with those. So the purpose of this video is not help you prepare for your next job interview or write your MBA essays. The purpose is to help you think a little bit about where do you see yourself in 15 years. So one of the ways that I found easier to think about where I want to be is where I don't want to be in 15 years from now. So I remember when I was working still on Wall Street, this was the first time that this kind of thinking hit me. One of the managing directors from London was visiting our office, and everyone was talking about it, and they were saying, it's so impressive how this guy, he became the youngest MD in our company. And I looked at the guy and I said, really? This guy? He's the youngest MD? He looked like he was 50 years old. He was balding. He had a huge beer belly. His skin was really pale, and he had these little red dots that men who drink a lot and have fair skin get on their face. And I found out that the guy was actually 30 or 32 years old at the time. So I said to myself, I really don't see my career going in this direction. I couldn't imagine paying this kind of price to do the kind of work this guy was doing. To show off my highly advanced technical skills, I decided to create a little matrix to help you visualize better where you could be in 15 years from now. There are two dimensions that I would like you to think about. One dimension is, what type of role do you want to have? Do you want to be a generalist or a specialist? And the second dimension is, what type of employment situation would you prefer to have? Do you prefer to have a more structured career working for a company with all the benefits that it entails? Or do you prefer to be more independent, take your own decisions and choices on what you do in your day-to-day? There is no right or wrong answer for any of these questions. It more depends on what makes you happier or where you feel more comfortable. Now, I think most of us are more frequently lean towards the generalist position, which gives us a lot of different options for our career. And what I would suggest doing in that case is just talking to a lot of people that are 10 or 15 years ahead of you, asking them what do they do, what do they like about it, what don't they like about it. And those people can be people in your own organization or other people that you meet through networking opportunities or perhaps through friends, through relatives. And when you talk to them, you will start seeing some patterns and you will start realizing for yourself, where do you feel more comfortable? Do you feel inspired by the work of those people? And do you see yourself doing the same things? Now, if the answer is yes, then you can start thinking about what are the steps that will help you get to where those people got to. And if you don't feel like you want to follow their footsteps, make sure that the actions that you are taking currently or the work you're doing is not taking you to a place where you don't want to be in 15 years from now. Finally, I would like to leave you with a very inspirational message from Viktor Frankl. He's a famous psychologist that wrote the book Man's Search for Meaning. And he is doing a presentation to a bunch of students in the 70s, and he tells them about how at his old age he's taking flight lessons. And he's telling how his instructor was teaching him about the concept of crabbing. So when you fly an airplane, you don't fly straight, you fly upwards because over time the plane will get to where it needs to fly. Frankl uses this story as a very interesting metaphor on how we can think about our own future and the future of the ones that are close to us. So if we treat an individual as he is, he will remain how he is. But if you treat him as if he were what he ought to be and could be, he will become what he ought to be and he could be. So the point of that is you have to visualize where you could be before you can actually become that kind of person or professional. In this video, I wanted to give you two different ways to think about your future and where you want to be. One is the more rational, analytical framework of the matrix, and another one is a more inspirational way to think about it that takes you away from what's right or wrong and lets you use your imagination a little bit and try to see how would things look like and what's out there beyond the horizon. So thank you for listening, and until next time.